Yo, what's up, guys? Do a mic check real quick. Hope everybody can hear me. Happy Saturday. It's been a while since I've done a live on the HighSchool Creations channel. I thought I'd drop in. I've been teasing some stuff for the past couple weeks about the upcoming project Wall XD, and thought I would get on tonight and do some Q&A. It's not really advertised, but did do a little shout out over on Instagram for those that caught that. Thanks for joining. And tonight's going to be Q&A. If you guys got questions, I will attempt to answer them the best I can at this point in time without giving too much away ahead of time. So with that said, again, welcome. Happy Saturday. Let's run through and see who's all in here tonight. Again, I know it was a short notice, so I don't expect a big turnout, but those that do come through, thank you very much. So let's see. Bearded Builds in the house. What's up, Bearded? Thank you for joining. Always supportive. Yo, Joy, what's going on? Thank you. Let the magic show begin. Yeah, Magic Mike. Okay. Wing or lose. What's going on? Legendary Poser in the house. What's going on? Yoko. What's up, Yoko? Billy Moon. What's going on, Billy? If we get some time right, we'll talk about the project I'm working on for you. And then I got some awesome stuff I had a pickup yesterday from Target that's going to really complement and I think really push through that project for me. So just help me get into the mindset for that project. So we'll talk about that hopefully tonight. Matt Logic in the house. What's going on? Yo. Let's see who else we got. Geeker Queen, what's going on? Again, thank everybody for coming out. I know it's short notice, but I wanted to give you guys an opportunity here on the HighSchool Creations channel to talk through the project. And for those that don't know, I am releasing a new project, a lot different actually than what I've been doing in the past. Something that I've been thinking about for many years and have tried to work into my system of creating for a very long time, and finally decide to step out of my comfort zone and do something a little different. So I have an upcoming project that is a high quality creation of a simple brick wall. Actually, when I do this, let me just show why I talk so it makes sense. Here we go. So I work with a fellow partner to help create these 3D renders from the design that I have. But essentially, this is a brick display. This is in its single form phase. The idea for these are not to be hand created or laser cut or CNCs. These are actually designed to be manufactured displays that you guys can see here is expandable. These are injected molding, so these will be plastic. These will be pretty lightweight. They're not like a traditional like resin, thickness. You can see they're kind of thick there, but these will actually be lightweight. They are perfect for DTOFs, as you can see here. They're roughly 12 by 12 by 5. And if you guys don't already see it, there's the tabs on the side. That's a simple design to help attach the display so that you can get that seamless look if you want to do a long alleyway. And so the idea here is that these are adaptive. They can fit, creator challenge or collector challenges, right? How do we want to display? Do we want to do it in DTOF one day, or the next day we want to do a long shelf, a whole bunch of figures? Or for us who do photography or videography, hey, I have them displayed today in my DTOF. Tomorrow I want to take this thing outside or to my room next door and do some, photography with this new action figure I just got. Or, hey, if you guys are influencers and reviewers, this would be a great back shot for a review center. So like you could line these up, get 3 or 4 of them together, have a nice review area. Just came up with that. So I have to use that somewhere. But the idea here is that these are manufactured pieces that allows a high number of these to be created. Fact is, if I attempted to do this by hand, like in-house, I could probably do it with the laser. Actually, I've done that with the laser. It would take me a very long time to produce. But doing it through the manufacturing process allows a large number of these to be created at high precision. Sorry, I stopped. I forgot. I'm not really reading any questions. I'm just like talking. So I'll stop there and then start answering some questions from Bearded. Um, here you go. Without giving away too much, is there a corner piece coming? So yeah, there is an entire um, ecosystem, if you will, developed for this. And so my plan is to have the focus here is obviously the single display, right? But that's just a small portion of it. And so my plan is to have three phases. Phase one is to get this initial single display out that is still expandable, adaptive, and customizable. Phase two is there are some additional pieces that further fulfill that ecosystem um, idea that I'm putting out. And then there's phase three, which will complete this entirely. There may be some question of why do phases. One thing is expense. I could go, and this is being just completely transparent. I could go ahead and have phase one, phase two, phase three, all a part of this initial phase. But the upfront expense is quite a bit, right? You're talking about tooling, uh, for just trying to think here. So I can say this: the initial display you guys see here is three tools. You got the wall. I'm not displaying anymore, but you have the wall, you have the sidewalk, and you have that window piece. So that's three separate tools. The phase two has two additional tools, and then phase three potentially could have up to six, and they're smaller. And I'm kind of giving stuff away, but I'm not really. So the biggest expense of manufacturing is the creation of those molds, right? And so what I'm trying to do is do baby steps to get there. And I'm hoping to do that in three phases. That's the idea, that's the goal. So phase one is to get this main piece out because this is the main piece of this ecosystem and also prove this is successful. And if that is successful or when that is successful, move on to phase two and then phase three. I know that doesn't give away too much bearded, but I hope that kind of uh, shows you where I'm thinking. I'm definitely thinking ahead. There is a full ecosystem here. When I say that, I mean you will be able to create. Um, I'm trying not to give it away. uh, you'll be able to create a scene that with the right camera angle, you will not be able to tell that you'll be able to have this complete scene. And I'm not just talking about three pieces of this put together and being expanded. I'm not really giving away too much or saying too much, so I do apologize on that. All right, I'll move into another question. Bearded, short answer. I'll just answer yes. There are designs for corner pieces. I don't think it's going to make it in this first cut though, unless it gets crazy. That's just honest. All right. So some other new people here toying around. What's going on? Dark G in the house. What's going on, man? Butter Nation, right? Toying arounds in the house. Yes. I think at some point initially, Billy, these will not be available. They'll be available in 1/12 scale, and I think for the most part, the community I am a part of, we mostly collect 1/12 scale or close to it, right? Obviously Marvel Legends is a little off, and um, if you're a McFarlane collector, it's a little larger, but this will fit into that. This isn't like a smaller 1/12, like an import 1/12. This will probably meet in the middle of all three of those, right? So domestic, McFarlane being a little bigger scale, and then actual import. But the initial round is 1/12 scale. This could easily be retooled to be 1/18 scale. If this goes back to what I said from the previous question, right? It's all about demand. It's got to prove that it can do something, right? So if there's demand there, yeah, I'll attempt it. I think you mentioned in one of the recent videos, but we'd be wait. but we'll be able to expand upwards too. Yes, Legendary Poser. I did tease that on the Fallen Effect Chronicles, Ernie's channel. Go check him out. Make sure you follow him. He invited me on this week, and I did release a little exclusive teaser for him. This will be expandable both horizontally and vertically, and I don't mind. I'll go ahead and show you guys some pictures of what that actually. I can't. The reason why I can't is because the pictures I have on this particular machine actually shows a few other things. I'm just keeping tight to the chest right now to release a little later. But yes, it will be able to scale up as well as out. So a door piece isn't out of the question for the future. A door piece. So this is going to go back to the original question that Bearded asked. If there's a corner piece, and what I was alluding to is this full ecosystem. I'm going to key to the third word and the three words that I keep using, which those three words again are expandable, adaptive, and customizable. Phase 2 and phase 3 are really going to you guys are really going to understand what I mean by customizable. I know right now you're not seeing a whole lot of customization besides the expanse, but if we can get in those two phases, which I plan to show off in the near future, you guys are really going to be, I think, very impressed with what we're able to accomplish with this simpler dio. Right? This is by no means a complex dio at this time, but what we'll be able to achieve in phase 2 and phase 3, I think, will be really exciting, and I think you guys will be very happy to see that. But without answering directly, it's possible. Nothing is off the table at this time except for, well, I'm not going to say, maybe the scale change is probably the biggest thing off the table at this time. I want to offer promos for your channel followers. This is thank you for the big message. That's over on Twitter, by the way, guys. We're also on YouTube and Twitter. So I do ramble a lot, and if I didn't answer anything clearly, you guys just feel free to ask again until I say it more direct. Let's show off some more pictures. I got some more stuff I can show, so let me just pull some stuff up. Again, this is the actual piece. This is the 3D file I printed out on my smaller printer. And so I just wanted to see, with the printer I had up until 2 days ago, this is probably as big as I could do. I could probably do a little bigger, but there was really no point. But I did print this out in a smaller scale, painted it up, just as this is first prototype, right? Or this would be beta, because alpha is this. This is the piece that started it all. And this would be beta. Sorry, I was reading some of the comments. So I don't remember what I was saying before that, but I can show you guys some more pictures. So let me pull that up. So let me see that brick pic. I can show you some of the. Let me see what I can show you without showing you. Just give me a second, guys, to pull this up. So why it's quiet? No other questions, really? Come on, give me something that will really make me feel uncomfortable. I mean it. How easy is it to add stickers to graffiti for a dio, for a newbie to dios? Yeah, it all depends on your background, I think. If you're looking into customizing, like doing graffiti and stuff, there's several ways to do it. I think the most complicated is probably airbrush. Easiest way is probably paint pens, right? And then go find you some um do some research, finding some images on Google or wherever, and start practicing on some scrap foam. I think, from there you'll get a real quick feel for it, and then, keep at it. It is true, practice does enhance your capabilities, and feel free to step out of your comfort zone. Right? If paint pens get easy fast, try to do airbrush. I don't know. As far as stickers go, you can definitely go down to the hobby store and buy like water slide, or what is it? Those boxcar racing stickers that you can print on the white sheets and then make your own stickers and cut them out by hand. That's actually pretty easy, as long as you have a printer and have some um, reasonable good Photoshop skills. What are you wearing under the desk? If I showed you what I'm not wearing, we may lose the live stream. Will there be an option to get a wall unpainted? I can't answer that. Legendary posers got jokes. Will there be a removable piece, window, AC unit, etc.? The window is removable. The current window. Hopefully, that gives hints into future accessories just on that piece. And a part of phase 2 and 3, Billy, I'll keep honing back on the customization piece, and I'm not going to directly answer you if this project can get there. Again, I think you guys would be very happy to see some of what's a part of that. um, yeah, I was pulling up pictures. Let's show some of this. So again, this is basically what's going to be a part of phase 3, including the tab gons that I showed in the update this week over on Instagram. If you guys aren't following me on Instagram, go check it out. HighSchool Creations over on Instagram. My most recent post specifically to Wall XD. Well, I made one today. Previously, one back in the middle of the week. I showed off a feature, and weekly I'm going to try to show off a feature that's not obvious here. But that will include the tab gons, which will make this. A lot of people are like, "Hey, you're gonna have those tabs showing?" No, there's features for that, and those are gonna be the tab gons. They're pieces that match the back as well as the sidewalk, so the brick wall and the sidewalk that'll cover those tabs for a really just um, complete look, especially inside your DTOF, or if you want to complete the look on your shelf, those will be available. One for the brick wall, one for the sidewalk will come with each unit. This is what I'm considering a unit: is one wall piece, a window piece, a sidewalk, and each of those two tab gons I was referring to that cover the tabs on the wall and the sidewalk, that is one unit. Um, Initially bearded, there would be this. I think this color is actually more accurate to the renders, but there will be. This is the color. It'll be a brick, and most of them will all be pretty much the same color. Most of them will be the same color. Obviously, variations in color. One thing I talked about on. I'll come back to that. Is I'll come back to that. One thing that I will say is when it comes to the paint's going to be done in house. So the manufacturing process will take place in the U.S., a couple states over from me, so that I reduce some risk of going overseas when it comes to timelines. Risk of IP being stolen or loss of IP, and then paint is all going to be in house so that I can make sure the quality standard is what I'm expecting and what I want to achieve before they go out. So me and I'm expecting a few others will be a part of the team to get that out once those are ready to be picked up from the factory, and then we'll ship them out. Um, Along with that, we'll have custom boxes. That's not really the fun part. Everybody throws that stuff away. But yeah, I just want to hit on that as far as paint and stuff. That'll all be in house so that I can make sure it meets my standards before it goes out. Legendary Poser, is that a dump out purely aesthetic, or like NECA, does it peel away for more options and ports? Maybe explain that one a little. I'm not following. Sorry. Will phase one have walls with different patterns if you want to connect all 4 in a row or to give variety? Wave one or phase one will be all this brick pattern. Good call. We don't need to see this on AliExpress. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure I kind of opened up Pandora's box with this one. And there may be probably, more folks that come out and say, oh, we can do this. Yeah, it's definitely possible. I don't know why. I'm sure there's been people doing it before, but it doesn't, from what I'm seeing, and if this is successful, like if a creator wants to do something like this, I mean, it's definitely, if they have the drive and they want to go get it, they can definitely do this. Bump out, that slightly raised column on the brick. Oh, yes. No, that's let me make sure I asked. It does not peel away or port. No. So that is a part of the display. So that's a part of the design. That's the part of the what will be manufactured. All one piece. It's not separate pieces. Great question. Thank you. Painting that in house. I've heard enough. All I need to know is how can I fund it? Yeah. So one of the things I wanted to make sure it didn't lose. A lot of people hear manufacturing, they start thinking big company. They think I don't know if it's very negative, but they think they lose that potential for like that. How do I say this? That I don't want to say personal touch, but what I want to try to make sure is that I don't lose what I've created under HighSchool Creations. The way I do that is, yeah, these are being created from a structural perspective somewhere else, but when it comes to final piece and quality before it's sent out, that's still going to be in-house. It's going to be a part of HighSchool Creations, and the best way to do that is to keep the paint in-house, at least for the initial ones. One of the things that I want to keep doing is keep taking this line if I can, and that's probably thinking too far ahead. But Wall, the XD line, Wall is a part of the first part of that, and then I want to do others. Right, I have other ideas and designs that I'm already talking about and like drawing up. And so if this is successful, I want to keep going with XD, and just take it to the next level each time. And I think you guys can attest to that. You've seen what I do year over year, and I try to take it to the next level. And I promise you guys, I'm going to keep doing that with this, given the opportunity. All right. We be bumping. Bump 30. Bumping around. All right. Legendary Poser. I do. Let me go back to that question. Oh, where'd it go? Oh, here it is. I have it. It's highlighted. Am I blind? There are some words you chose to use in here, which will be a part of phase 3. Cough, cough. All right, let me go on to some of the pictures here. What can I talk about here before I move on? Oh, we could talk about. So this doesn't really show like how thick this is. This may even, like, if you were to look at it and you say, oh man, if this is all resin or all plastic, this may be pretty heavy, right? But what we're actually going to do is what's called panning. And I'm going to shift away from this and go full screen real quick. This is a piece off a play set that I have. It's like a Spider-Man play set. And this is not the type of plastic I'm going to use. But what this does demonstrate is what I mean by panning. And so my version of this is going to be a lot thicker. This is a little thinner, but get an idea of panning. You guys can see the front, you guys see the back, and how you're able to reduce the amount of material to make it lighter by panning it, which you see how thin that is, right? It's not a solid piece. So planning to do that with this to aid in the ability to cut down on weight and also ensure that you can scale it up without putting too much weight and risk to it falling on figures. Excuse me. All right, I'm gonna stop sharing the screen. Let's go to another picture. That's just another repeat. Sorry, guys, I got tons of content from just all this, so it's gotta see what I can share at this moment in time without giving too much away. All right. Here we go. Here's another view. Again, this is phase one, right? This is what will be in phase one. The only thing not shown here that'd be a part of phase one is the tab gons on the side, but this is the functionality uh, and capabilities you'll have with phase one, right? You have the ability to scale this out. Now, also, you don't see this vertically scaled, but horizontally scaled. This is an example using 3, which would give you almost 3 feet, right? These are 12 by 12 high by 5 inches. So this will give you a lot of real estate when it comes to displaying your figures. Or if you're doing like a review counter, or you got that long shelf you want to put a bunch of figures on, or you just got those Street Fighter figures when they come in and you want to do some street fighting. Shout out to Ernie. So I think even like phase one, even though it's early and it's still very simple, there's a lot of capabilities going on here when it comes to purely display, right? You have a nice solid brick wall that's going to be nicely painted. You guys have seen my work. I think it's pretty realistic. So you guys want a realistic looking brick wall that's simple, that's really going to set off your figures without taking away from your figures. I think this is perfect. Yo, what's up, Star Marvel? Thank you, thank you. Yeah, I mean, it's what going back for years. This is what people always want, right? Scalability, customization. They want to be able to use this for different scenarios, whether that's displays, or if it's on your shelf, or if it's for photography or videography, or you want to use it with the other dioramas, so you have a much bigger piece diorama, but you need something to cover up that little bit of something in the back. Hey, this will fit for it, right? So there's several scenarios that this is what I think perfect to fit for. Um, really, a lot of people have not really asked this question, but I do want to talk about it. And if you guys have signed up for the email, you guys have seen a little bit more on timelines, cost, and a little bit more about the project, but nothing too crazy more than what the public has. But one thing that a lot of people, they're saying they want this. It's a great project, but they're not really asking about the price or the cost. And I'm fine with that. But I do want you guys to understand that one of the reasons I'm going this manufactured way is because it does make the price point that I can deliver these a lot cheaper than doing them handmade, right? Because it is cheaper when it comes to how much time I put into these and materials, right? So this will be at the current under $100, under $75, probably a little bit more lower than that. We'll have more concrete prices, but I want to make sure you guys have an idea what price is going to be, as well as lead time. And so lead time on this, I'm projecting 12 to 14 months once funded. So that means time for manufacturing and time for paint. Because this is in-house painting and it may be 1 to 5 people painting these, and I'm looking at probably somewhere between 500 and 1,000 of these to paint. I do expect it to take a little bit of time. I'm sure you guys understand that. But I want to have that custom paint finish, right? So it's very important to me to have that time with these before they go out. And then you got to account for shipping. So I think that's pretty reasonable. And I will be completely upfront if that is any longer as soon as I'm aware of it. But that's my estimated lead time, right? 12 to 14 months, which I think is pretty good for manufacturing and, understanding how small, yeah, I would say I'm a small startup, right? Wait, the bump out hiding that seam is great. Yeah, a lot of people chimed in on that. Yeah, it will be pretty much seamless. Obviously you still got brick, and that detail does help hide a lot of that line. But yeah, it butts up together very nicely. and seamless. And when it was designed, it was intentionally made that way. I don't know if I can get any closer here, but you guys will see that how the brick aligns is a half brick along that wall, and on the other side where it will align is a half brick. So it's not that awkward like full brick half brick thing, right? Two bricks, two half bricks will meet. That was intentionally designed that way, so when they come together, it looks seamless. Oh, bearded. Yeah, that's the whole point. I want to keep the quality high and the value low, right? And I think that's what a lot of people are looking for. That's one of the things for years I've been trying to solve. I mean, when for example, like the Epic City one, I probably put 200 hours in that thing, so you can understand that's expensive. Um, but you know, we have displays. For most of us, displays are to highlight our figures or use them something for our figures. What I've tried to do is come up with a way, and this is why I've incorporated things like lasers and CNCs to help automate a lot of what I do, is to cut the expense so that people don't have to choose display or action figure. Right, action figures are getting expensive. We see it every day, and that's the true centerpiece for our displays, is the action figure. So you shouldn't have to choose. And I think going the manufacturer route allows there to be more equalization there. With that said, I'm still going to build custom dioramas, and there's definitely a huge difference in manufacturing and a custom made dio, right? But I think the point is I'm trying to deliver quality, uh, as well as value at a much closer um, balance. Um, awesome. Any more questions, guys? This won't be a long live, as unfortunately both kids have been sick this week, and now another one is fallen sick. So don't plan to be on too long. But I did want to jump on here and talk through any questions folks might have, any concerns, or anything really. I don't mind. If you guys, I do have some action figures to open. Actually, I thank you, Kev, and thank you, Pancho, if you're watching. But they've helped me fall into the rabbit hole of Pokemon cards, and so I've been on the hunt for the past couple days, everywhere looking for Pokemon cards. And this is totally off base from what we were just talking about or displaying, but I found a couple of Crown Zenith EBTs today. Or sorry, ETBs, Elite Trainer boxes. I'm still new to this, guys. But I did pull a really nice card today. Super happy. Actually, my pull rate was pretty well. I would say for me as a newbie, I was super excited. I was like, I gotta go find more of these, and then I realized I don't need to be buying a bunch of Pokemon cards. But I was really excited to pull that, and so yeah, I'm in the Pokemon cards now, and my kids love Pokemon, so it makes sense. Keeps them excited. We learn all the different Pokemon names. They help me learn the names. You guys, I think I opened up some on a stream not too long ago and know that I pronounce names terribly. So my kids help me with the names, which is nice. But also at GameStop, I found Sergeant Slaughter today. So thought I would open him up towards the end. Yo, Bat Force, what's going on? Exactly, Star Marvel. So to keep my terminology in line, Wall XD will have 3 different phases. We're in this first initial Kickstarter will be phase 1. That's what we're ramping up to, and that's really how we're going to determine where we go from there. But if it's successful, phase 2 and phase 3 of Wall XD, and then once we close that out, we'll move into a new line for XD. XD is expandable displays, right? So yeah, it could be medieval, it could be sci-fi, it could be Western, it could be anything, right? Um, with that said, I do have the next one already planned, and kind of drawing that up and talking to the closest of diorama friends about ideas. And so that's the plan. I still want to do custom dioramas, especially like big ones. I'm still going to be working on digital assets, still going to run Patreon, still going to do all the things that I do on IG and YouTube, just like I do today. but just trying to find a new avenue for me that's interesting. You guys know that I geek out over tools, and this gives me the opportunity to now go to visit factories. One of the reasons I wanted the factory to be US so I could go see how this stuff is made, learn about how tool and die is. A little thing about my past is actually right out of high school, I worked at a machine shop that had these big mills and CNCs. And unfortunately, I didn't work on that side of the house. I worked on the inrod side where I was a screw machine operator. I loaded these 6-foot pieces of steel in different gauges to make brake cables for like planes and tanks for like the government. And so I would be oiled up all the time working on these with calipers. So I did that for many years at a buddy's shop in Hartsville. And um, then I went on and I completed school and went to the IT industry. But this takes me back to some of that, right? And I can go back now and hopefully get to visit some of these factories if this is successful, and really just see how the sausage is made, if you will, right? And I can't wait to do that. This whole thing excites me, from the designs all the way to seeing the stuff made in the factory and all the things that I get to learn. So I really hope that I can make this successful. Let's see what you said there. With your new project, if it had 4 walls, would I be able to make a building or something similar? So I think so. Yeah. So one of the things about this is it's not only. Oh, I'm not sharing anymore. Sorry. It is expandable, right? Horizontally as well as vertically. I was talking about this on Ernie's show, Fallen Fett Chronicles, over on YouTube. If you guys aren't following him, go check him out. He's got great guests every week. But you can go 2 high, 3 high. 3, I think, may get a little iffy. It could be completely honest. I will let you know in 2 weeks. I'm actually printing more of this dio to be able to test that, since that was brought up. But you could potentially go 3, 4, 5 high, however high you want to go, however long you want to make it. And so and to be able to do a corner or a building requires additional parts. And so that may be something in phase 2 or phase 3 of this project that will allow you to do that. You definitely be able to create an alley, or the look of an alley, with phase 1. Wood block stone, yeah, I hope it all takes off, man. I think it would be cool. Yeah, Star Marvel, I think it'd be very cool to do that. My mind doesn't stop thinking about it. I'll be honest. I'm always thinking about this stuff. Even right before I go to sleep. I love it. I'm sure you guys see that in all my posts and all that I do. It's just, I've really taken a hobby and just went really extreme with it, and I love it. How's it going? How's the new 8K? I have not got to print with it. I thought I had enough resin, and then when it came in the other day, I don't know if you guys have seen my unboxing video, but I know how big it is. Like, I read all the specs. I understand it. I understand it because I know that's what I need to be able to print something this large. But seeing it in person, I was like, I don't have enough resin for that. So I had to order a bunch more resin, which should be here tomorrow. So I'll be doing the maiden, or the initial print, hopefully tomorrow, assuming nothing goes wrong. So but I have it set up. I had to clear a spot for it, and it dwarfs the Mono X. I don't know if you guys are familiar with the Anycubic. They just released the M3, which is bigger, but the Mono X, I think, was 8.9, which is still a large printer, even though it's a couple years old now, but it dwarfs it. I think it fits inside the Mega 8K, to give you an example. I might post a picture on IG later. I don't want to come off as like, I don't know. I wanted to show like I'm prototyping these in house, but I don't want to come off like, I don't know. Anyway, so hopefully be able to start printing tomorrow. These take a very long time to print because they're big, and also something I learned with the 8K is that it is a slower print initially because there is so much resin in the vat that the pressure from the plate and that much vat can actually crack your screen if it moves too fast. So initially it's pretty slow until it builds off the plate. Each one of these sections take about 32 hours to print. So I want to get another 3 of these done. hopefully over the next week, and then start doing some additional test fits. See how they stack high. Um, and I'm hoping if I can get enough of them, maybe I should say this. Maybe get some product samples out to a few people. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how quick I can get these printed, and if I have any issues printing them. I'm gonna scroll back up for a few more comments here. Yo, Kit Bash in the house. Yes, excited to see this, Mike. Thank you. Yeah, I hope all goes well. I'm doing what I can to make this successful. These would be great for custom figure showcases. Exactly. I think I said this earlier and just dawned on me. Like if you're doing customs, or like you're shooting, an Instagram live or YouTube live of a figure, and you want something behind the figure, these would make great backdrops, right? Because they are simple brick. They're not going to take away from your figure, but they're going to add that additional layer in the background that's really just going to make your showcases pop. Any way to connect a 90-degree corner? I hope so. Maybe if phase 2, phase 3. It'd be cool to see two types of corners, one that allows for a building like Batforce said, and an inverse. Yes, so an outside corner, inside corner is what you're thinking, and I hope because I was able to spit those words out so quickly, you understand that I'm already thinking about it. Legendary. Thinking about the same thing. Yeah, so there's some additional engineering involved with that, but man, I don't want to give it away. Definitely, yeah. Thinking some stuff. Phase 2, phase 3, guys. Excited for you in this Kickstarter project and your new printer. Thank you. The new printer is one of those, I wouldn't say stepping stone because phases are stepping stones, but it's pinnacle to the success because I need to prototype these well in advance. And I don't know if you guys have ever considered prototyping anything, but the costs behind prototyping. Now I understand that the machines that they're prototyping with are astronomically different than the Mega 8K, but I have enough printing experience to be able to do this in house. But it's made no sense to me to outsource, having 3, 4, 5 of these made if I could do it in house. So I do appreciate it. But it's definitely a part of the plan. When do you think to go live with the Kickstarter? Great question. Pitching March. I think I said this on the Following Chronicles, but mid-March on a Tuesday between 3 and 4 p.m. So I've been I'm not going to stick around too much longer, guys. I'll talk through this last part about Kickstarter, understanding all the things around Kickstarter and crowdfunding. But I've really had to wrap my head around that. So I've read a few books. There's a book called My First Kickstarter. Let me pull it up on Audible real quick so I give proper credit, because this guy has gone far above what he should do. He in his book, he also gives like a bunch of links to a bunch of very useful tools when it comes to all the things you need in order to get ready, and also during a crowd campaign or a crowdfunding campaign. So if you guys are interested in ever doing something like that, I definitely highly suggest go reading this book. It is called your first Kickstarter campaign. And there it is. Hopefully I don't get but go check that out. I might do a link later or something like that. But I am also working with a campaign manager who is assisting and helping put together like this pre-launch, which is like all the emails, right? You see me putting out a bunch of emails, and some of you might even notice that some of my posts are now ads, and it's just to help generate the awareness, right? It's a lot different in the digital worlds. It can be easy, but it's more difficult to make sure that you're in contact with all the folks to make sure they're aware. And just because you have something out on a Kickstarter, let's say you open up a Kickstarter tomorrow, that doesn't mean Kickstarter is going to bring you all those people. That's not the way it works. So you have to get people interested. You have to let people know when you start it. And there's an algorithm with Kickstarter that if you want to be successful and you want to be on those, like, I don't know if you get the emails, if you ever backed anything on Kickstarter, but you'll get emails weekly about, projects, or there's like a list on Kickstarter about these, about projects, right? And you get on those lists by hitting these numbers through an algorithm, and those algorithms are like, your first couple of days, number of backers, how much your goal have you met, first couple of weeks, how many backers and the goal you met. And so you have to generate all the awareness and gather all the leads to make sure people are aware when this happens, right? And so that's what I'm trying to do. And that's why it's important. If you guys are at all interested, go check out that link. And if you can't find it, hit me up. I'll send it to you. Sign up for the email. I promise you're not going to get a bunch of email. You'll get initial email that says, "Hey, welcome." Then you get a second email breaking down timeline, cost, and kind of what's next. And then I'm hoping the only next email will be, "Hey, we're starting the Kickstarter tomorrow," or "We're live now." Right? I don't want to create a lot of noise. I know we get a lot of emails these days, and I don't want you guys to consider it spam, but I want you guys to be aware. Um, but anyway, going back, there's all these statistics about Kickstarter, and so learning that is a challenge, and then understanding like there's this I don't want to say overwhelming, but there's a lot of work that's not even related to dioramas for the pre-launch. And right now I'm in this pre-launch phase, and I probably could use a longer runway, but I'm forcing myself to start in mid-March. But it's the gathering all that, right? And then preparing, content like video, pictures, and all this stuff you're seeing here on the screen today. And also getting that awareness out, working with influencers. So there's all this stuff that has to be done, and I don't do this full time either, right? I'm a full time dad. I have a career that's outside of this, um, and then I'm trying to do this. So uh, it's a lot. I'm asking for a lot, but I enjoy it so much. I want to do it. And I think I missed a bunch of messages. Let's see. Here we go. Like a Limehouse corner design that has a tab insert on both sides to make a corner. I'm sure you've thought of all this. When are you thinking? Oh, I'd answer that. How many inches tall are the windows? Those windows, I can show you. Oh, hold on, let me make myself big. This is exactly the same size it will be, Bat Force, and so this is a legend. So I think it's a little over 4 inches. I don't remember exactly. I have to go measure it. But it's 3 inches wide. I think since it's got that kind of curve. That's why I don't remember the exact number. My typical windows are 4x3, and I think it's a little bigger than 4 because of that curve at the top. The Falling Chronicles, aka Boba Fett. Good one, good one. Yo, what's up, Josh? How many shows are you going to be on to promote? That's a great question because I hadn't gotten that far. But then I started being asked, after Kev was like, "Hey, you should pitch it," and I was like, "Oh, dude, if you'll give me the time, I'll pitch it." And he was gracious enough to do that. And then Ernie asked me the next week that was this week to be on the show. And then there's been a bunch of streams that's called it out. And Parallel talked about it last night. Motivational Mondays with the Figure Booth. They talked about it. There's been the ACBA podcast. Poncho called it out. So there's been a lot of people just word of mouth. Like I didn't even ask. So I'm very thankful and gracious and grateful for all the people that promoted it without me asking. But I will, I guess, an on tour, right? I'm hoping to do a YouTube on tour and get on a couple of buddies, channels, just me talking about it with them, interview type scenario, hoping to do that to really, really push it some more. But yeah, that's soon to come. I need to probably get on that actually, but that's the plan. Yeah, thank you. That's that's a standout piece for me. Obviously, it's one of the biggest pieces I've done up to this point, probably the longest piece I've ever worked on. And if you really look at it, you'll see how everybody's skill set grows over time. You continue to do something, you just evolve it, and you can see my skill set changing throughout that piece. So that's going to be a piece that stands out in my mind for the rest of my career. So I do appreciate all the love for that piece. Yeah, so I can answer this pretty straightforward. So, talking with the factory, This guy's a super intelligent guy when it comes to plastics, but also like making, as well as and the process behind injection molding. And he was like, "Hey, you should make these a certain way. It's a little bit more expensive, but it'll last you longer, and you'll be able to do more with it." And so I forget the exact name. I think it's called a gate. Again, I'm still learning on this, but this gate will allow the mold to have these swappable pieces, whether that for the sidewalk or the window or the actual wall piece, so that you could subtly change or even insert a new die. I think it's called a die mold, um, into that existing one. It's obviously the same shape and size, but example, stones could be different. So these molds, when made, will have that capability to be swapped out. And I got my hands so far to the camera, you guys can't see my face. Um, so that would be the idea, is to be able to, if it wants to be cobblestone down the road, swap that out. It still would, have to get the mold made for that, but it's not an entirely new mold, right? It's just one piece of the mold. Long term, it's more economical. Will you have unlocks once? That's a great question. There's two views to, unlocks and stretch goals and awards or rewards. And one thing that I'm trying to shy away from doing is making it overly complicated with a bunch of options, as well as, what I get, right? I want to make sure it's completely upfront what you get, right? Um, and that, if there are any kind of goals or stretch goals, that those are completely upfront. Everybody's able to get into those. With that said, I do know that I do want to push an early bird special. So I'm still determining what um, piece or accessory for this phase one will be a part of the early bird. But I do want to have an early bird uh, edition, and we'll limit those within the first 48 hours. And so I'll make sure that's well known. I'll probably be teasing that out in the next 2 weeks. But that's the only thing that's going to be kind of, a one off special. Everything else will be completely upfront. Um, but that would be the only thing that, won't be available the entire Kickstarter, is that early bird, reward for jumping on board and supporting me so soon. Yeah, I mean, I don't have to. I don't have to do any of that. I think, to be honest, the original design that I have back here that's made of foam, those have already gone out to buddies uh in that are influencers that, do toy reviews. They already have these in hand. There's already people that have the handcrafted version of this. I made over 25 this year to help, get me here, right? I Up to this point, like, for the Kickstarter is going to fund the manufacturing side, right? But to get here, there's also costs that I've done my entire self, right? All this designing, working with designers, working, to get the video, the content, the ads, the tools, everything I've provided for myself through making dioramas, and I've done that through the very thing that I'm about to recreate, but in a manufacturer form, right? And that's this guy here, right? These I've been reproducing on the laser since the beginning of last year. Um, and so this is how I got to where I am today, is through people supporting this product, which I'm now going to take this design to manufacturing, and that we'll be offering on the Kickstarter, if that makes sense. Do you think this is something you could sell some units to Big Bad? I don't know that entire process, and again, I'm intentionally making this a little low key on phase one because this is all new to me. What I don't want to do is get way too far ahead. And you see it with, there's many Kickstarters out there that, if you go read about them, they funded, but then they have problems, and they're not able to get out those things that they promised. And so, since this is new to me, I do want to keep this a little smaller. And to be completely honest, I don't even know how to approach that conversation. So I don't know. I would love for that to happen, but again, with this being my first Kickstarter, first project, phase one, I'm stepping slowly, if that makes sense. Yo, what's up, man? I was just showing off that card. I don't know if you're still in the house. I did have a good pull today. Yeah, I think early bird is great. There are reasons for that. Not only do I want to give back to those people supporting early and that were like, I'm definitely going to support Mike and I love this idea, but there's also an algorithm that I'm trying to beat. Right, that first 48 hours, there is a statistic that if you're not 30% funded within those first 48 hours of your goal, you're more than likely not going to get funded. And there are um, projects that do get funded that don't meet that, but the average do not. And so, um, just not playing with those numbers, but looking at those numbers with the campaign manager, we want to make sure that we're not in the the opposite of that, right? We want to make sure that we're meeting those statistics and that we're on track. There's a lot of tracking and numbers for each day, each week with Kickstarter, so it's very intentional, right? Not only for the support of people jumping in quick, but also to make sure we're meeting that algorithm. The paint job is going to completely separate from anything that you can find in the store. Yeah, so that's the big thing, right? So even though this was manufactured, it's not going to be what you're going to find in the store. And I think one of the big things was like looking at these Acid Rain and Joy Toys, right? They have a wash or are hand um, weathered, right? And I really like that idea. They're manufactured. You can get a high number of these, but they still have I want to say personal touch, but they're still all hand touched. They're hand painted, and I really like that idea. And I knew that when I was going to do something like this, that painting would remain in house. That's the way I keep it. High School Creations, and it's not completely, separate from me. Somebody else is doing it. Yo, what's up, Jimmy Pop? How finished with the inside wall? Other side will it be? Will it be usable for any inside look? No. These I was showing this off earlier. And again, this is a choice I made aesthetically, but also to keep the price point down. Is it's really only the front side that's going to be usable. Now you could probably put two of these together, like back to back. But as of right now, there's no plan for them to connect. But the back side will basically look like this, right? Um, you know, this would be the front. You can kind of see some bricks here. Obviously, this is not what my piece would look like. This is a lot cheaper, nowhere near the quality. But the back of it will look like this. And that's to keep it thin, keep it light, but also keep the value there. You need the enablers to come down and do some painting. Yeah, maybe. Never underestimate the power of a good paint job, dude. I totally agree. If you take something, and people do this all the time, they buy those what are the trash cans off Amazon? They're like $20, right? And that's a great value. But then someone puts this magnificent paint job on that dumpster, and it to somebody else it's now $50, whatever they want to pay for it, right? And so a good paint job can take it's polishing up a turd in some cases, but it can really elevate a piece, right? And so painting is critical to the success of this project. Will floor panels, street panels be available in different phases? Wink, let me know. For this particular one, any plans for corner connectors so people can make a right angle or for intricate alleyways? Again, I keep going back. Bearded and Poncho. All I can say is I think you guys will be very happy with phase 2 and phase 3 of this project. Oh, Mario, you'll be doing some painting. Don't even. You're gonna be coming down to help paint. As long as we hit up the halls, yeah. Oh yeah, steak will be provided. I'm trying to get you guys down now to do some video and celebrate. So international, that's a great question. I was actually talking over that with Kev the other day. Nothing official, just like just just saying stuff. And so it's not completely off the table. Right now, I'm saying only US because I haven't done the research to understand um, from a small business perspective how to do business internationally. I don't know if that's handled at the Kickstarter level and I'm just shipping out internationally, which I have experience with, but it comes down to just not having the experience to say I can do that or not. What I can say is I'm going to do the research, and if it's open to any country outside the US, it's definitely going to be Canada. So I'm working to make that happen. We'll have to see how that turns out, but I'm not going to say no. What's up, Matthew? I didn't see that comment. Uh, What's up, Plasty? Hey, again, shout out to Plasty. I was talking earlier how the community has really been very supportive since this announcement. And Plasty, came to me the other day and said, "Hey, let me get your logo. And hey, do you have a clip for this?" And I'm like, "Yeah, what's going on?" I should have known it's Plasty, but he put together that sweet video that I could use for shorts or for reels. I'm actually using it for an ad, so thank you, uh, Plasty. I'm using it for an ad over on Facebook, but very gracious of Plasty, and I got a lot of thank yous and making up to Plasty. But dude, thank you so much, Plasty. Yeah, it would be crustless bread, especially. Uh, oh, that was Kev. Kev's not eating the bread. All right. Oh, so I do. Before I go, I said I was going to be gone. I told my wife it'd be 30 minutes. Here I am an hour later. I had some really cool pools today. Uh, I got some of those Crown Zenith um, Elite Trainer boxes, and I pulled some really cool cards today. Now I can't seem to find them. I'm just going to share those out on here. So I thought they were really cool. And dude, for 2 boxes, I got 2 trainer boxes. I think these are all from that. I don't have a lot of Pokemon cards, so it don't matter where else they'd come from. But what did he say? He falls deeper. I think that was from today. I don't. Oh gosh, come on, focus. Actually, I don't think that is from today. Is it from today? No, it's 2020. It can't be. I don't know where that one came from. This is definitely from today. I already showed this one. I don't think that was from today. That's not from today. That's not from today. Oh, this one is. Oh, Poncho, I realized that I think they're Gen 1 or Gen 2 Pokemon cards that I have in my safe, and I can't get to my safe because I have too many unopened boxes of toys, but when I get them out, I'll be showing those up. Why won't this focus? My camera broke? Where's that really cool? Oh, that was a cool one. Where's that? Oh, this was cool. Come on. Must be too close. And I like these cards. I want more of these. I really like these. For some reason, this reminds me of like Carnage, just the colors, but this card I thought was really cool looking. Yeah, this one was cool too. I like the art on these. So I feel like my pull rate was like really good on those 2 boxes, and if I go back, no, I'm not gonna go back and get that third one. I can't do it. But I was happy because it came with sleeve. I didn't know it was all in an elite box. Like it's my first time in the Pokemon, like buying that many at one time, right? I'll buy the individuals. But like it came with sleeves, and then so these are all V's or some sort of rare, ultra rare hollow. So I've really stacked up over the past couple of weeks. Oh, it came with the book with all the cards in the set. Like earlier, I mean, before that, I was like going through the internet finding them. Now I got a book for Crown Zenith. I can just say, oh, I really like that one or that one. So today was a game changer for me collecting Pokemon. Um, yeah, I agree. I think so. I really think so. Unless you just don't have good pools, but yeah, the two that I bought today were nice. First box Magic. Both boxes were really good, but yeah, I will say that first box I pulled that Mewtwo, and I was like, no way! Like, I didn't know what I had. Um, yo, what's going on? So with that, guys, I did not want to stay on too long. Like I said, I got a couple sick kids, but I did want to come on and talk through Wall XD, answer some questions. We'll be doing this every week, I hope. Also, was talking to Mario on chat. I think we're talking about the build's not over, guys. I was going to let it fade, but Mario said, "Hey, the build's not dead." So I'm super excited. The build's not dead, and I'm hoping we can do it more routinely. I don't know if we'll do it weekly, but maybe bi-weekly. I don't know. We'll have to see what we can commit to. Both of us seem to have commitment problems when it comes to live streams. Well, maybe it's more me. But hopefully the build will be back next week. But I do plan on getting on the lives, talking through Wall XD as more announcements are made as we get closer to the actual start of the Kickstarter, which I'm um, saying is the mid-March. But again, if you sign up for the emails, you will know when we launch. So please do that. If you think you're interested or know anybody that is, forward them the link. If you don't have the link, let me know. Actually, I should have linked it, but I didn't. But if you have any questions, guys, reach out to me. I definitely am ecstatic to talk to you guys about this. I'm super excited, and I want to make this successful. And it comes down to, making sure I do this right and building the trust with you guys. So I think that's it, guys. I did want to open up Sergeant Slaughter, but I don't have time, so maybe I'll save this for the next live stream that I'm on. And I still got toys over here I didn't open from last week. But with that said, guys, I'm out of here. Happy Saturday. I hope you guys have a great weekend. And again, if you guys have any questions about Wall XD, hit me up. Sign up for the emails if this is something you're interested in. And thanks, guys. See you on the next live stream. Bye.